Angels, it's Hailey Reese and welcome back to my YouTube channel. I am so grateful that you are here and I am so excited to be back in the swing of my channel. Thank you guys so much for giving me grace to navigate life over the past month. As I'm sure most of you know by now, it has been a whirlwind and I'm just so grateful for all of the love and support and the grace you continuously give me, and I am so incredibly excited to be back here on my channel. Today's video is one that has actually been so highly requested, and that is diving into yet another dark web horror story. Now this has kind of become a series here on my channel, and honestly I can understand why, because there's something so eerie and terrifying about the unknown, and I think the dark web is no exception to that. But as we learn with this series in general, sometimes it's better not to know. And that is exactly what leads me into today's video. Now, before I get into today's video, I do just want to say that while this has become a series of sorts here on my channel, and we've dove into numerous accounts on the dark web, I am in no way, shape, or form promoting for you to download Tor and to go on the dark web yourself. In fact, I am looking for you to protect yourself from the dark web, which leads me into today's sponsor. I am so excited to be partnering up with UltraVPN for today's video and sharing them with you guys. There are so many dangers online, and unfortunately many people who are trying to scam online as well, which puts us at risk, especially of people accessing our personal information, identity theft, and scammers. The list unfortunately truly goes on, which is why I'm so looking forward to sharing UltraVPN with you. By heading to tryultravpn.com/Hailey Reese, you can start protecting yourself and your loved ones online today. And better yet, UltraVPN has all the benefits of a premium VPN for just $1.99, which is a ridiculously great price, especially if you're comparing to other VPNs on the market. Now, I'm sure as you can understand, working online myself and traveling often, it's really important to me personally to protect my identity and my personal information online. I absolutely love that all plans include a password manager and a dark web scan, which is an essential tool for safeguarding against dark web data breaches, so I highly recommend the dark web scan feature. But beyond all of that, better yet, with UltraVPN, you have access to content you wouldn't otherwise have any access to, as UltraVPN has access to more than 100 server locations every time you connect. Which, spoiler, I've been really enjoying watching shows that we don't have here in Canada, but that's just me. UltraVPN also does not collect any activity logs, keeping your business. And it's completely risk-free, as there is a 30-day money-back guarantee. I truly think that UltraVPN is a no-brainer, and I would highly recommend protecting your privacy online and keeping yourself safe when you head to tryultravpn.com/Hailey Reese. I will have it linked at the very top of my description for you, and I hope that you guys love UltraVPN just as much as I do. So thank you so much to UltraVPN for partnering up with me for today's video, and without further ado, let's get into yet another dark web story. So I'm sure many of you already know all about the dark web, but let's just kind of summarize what exactly the dark web is for those of you who may not be totally familiar with it. The dark web is a section of the internet that majority of us will never access. It's made up of a series of websites that are hidden from the general public. There's actually the iceberg theory that you guys have seen, kind of showing the section of the internet that we have access to on a daily basis, but it goes so much deeper. But if somebody were to want to, they would have access to the dark web by downloading a specific browser called Tor. The depths of the dark web are shocking to many, considering it's a space where you can find black markets, hacker forums, identity theft, the selling of illegal items, malware, and videos and live streams that put horror films to shame. Now, I do want to note that not everything on the dark web is illegal, but many people who have went looking on the dark web have highly regretted it. Not everybody who goes on the dark web is looking for anything illegal or dark, so to speak. There are plenty of people who utilize the dark web as a way to express their political views or views in general anonymously. But I do want to note that upon digging a little bit deeper into the dark web, there are aspects of it that people are claiming are nothing more than urban legends, while others are saying it's just a cover-up for what's really going on. So I would love to know in the comment section below what you guys think of the dark web. Do you think it's as evil as they say it is? Do you think it's as dark as they say it is? And what do you think of this experience? But getting into it, the individual who had this experience would like to remain anonymous. They feel as though they put themselves out there too much where the dark web is concerned, and they would like to keep their privacy private. So I'm going to call him John for the sake of this, because I'm super original. John Doe, why not? Now, unlike many of the other experiences we've covered here on my channel, John wasn't new to the dark web. In a lot of the experiences that I've dove into, it was one of those curiosity killed the cat type of things where friends got together and decided to dig deeper, or somebody wanted to see how crazy it truly was. But John had actually been on the dark web prior to this experience. But John wasn't going on the dark web to find any crazy videos or live streams or anything dark, so to speak. I feel like I keep saying dark, but I don't know how else to describe it. He said he was going on there because he liked to buy certain things that you couldn't otherwise get. I'll actually read the quote for you. I had used the dark web on a couple of occasions in the past, mostly to buy a few hard to find, but mostly harmless things, and to read some forums that I would find. I found the dark web mostly overhyped. I'd really only seen the occasional alleged hacker, but for the most part, I found it hard to find the things that I'd heard about. I had no idea what I was doing. John said that, again, he was on the dark web, wasn't really finding much, wasn't seeing much, and was getting quite bored and tired as it was super late at night. So he was making the decision to essentially get off of the internet and head to bed, when he saw something that caught his eye. John saw a chat room hosted by somebody named X, going by X. And he felt as though it was interesting because the chat room seemed as though it was just starting up. There was a bunch of people rolling in and everyone was saying how excited they were, asking what X had in store for them tonight. And so John thought, what the heck, why don't I sit here and see what this is all about, who X is, and why so many people are rolling in so quickly. Now again, people were asking what he had in store for them tonight, and more specifically, how many of them there were. So this intrigued John even further because it was the first time since he'd been utilizing the dark web that he'd kind of been getting a glimpse of these types of group chats and people who gather together. Now, nothing crazy happens for the first 10-15 minutes. People are just getting excited, hyping each other up. So he was about to click out once again when all of a sudden X sends a photo that haunts him to this day. X sends a photo of 3 girls sitting on what appeared to be a ledge. They were not young girls, they were probably early 20s, he said, but they were dressed more so like younger girls. They were in these like little Bo Peep style dresses and these big bows. But the girls in the photo were staring into the camera in a way that he couldn't even tell if they were real. He couldn't tell if this was a real photo or what it was all about, but quickly the chat started picking up, getting excited about these girls. X starts saying that he wants to take requests and that they're willing participants. And that is when X sends a photo of himself in this creepy, crazy mask with a very creepy background, if that makes sense. I don't want to be demonetized and say too much, but it looked like something out of a Saw movie, like a horror film. Obviously, this was very unsettling to John. He did not engage in these type of activities. He thought this was some sort of sick prank or some sort of internet entertainment because, again, he didn't view the dark web as this. And so he decided to tell them that they were sick and that this was a sick joke, and then he wanted to click out. John says, I don't know what I was thinking or if I even thought this was real, but without knowing what was happening, I just acted on impulse and told them that whatever it was, they seemed like a bunch of sickos. I had an overwhelming feeling of dread, so decided to click out of the chat when a chat popped up from X directly to me. It haunts me to this day. He said, leaving so soon, the fun hasn't begun. Leaving so soon, the fun hasn't begun. That makes me sick. Like, even if it wasn't real, so to speak, Even somebody recreating that makes me feel sick. Like, I'll even see certain TikToks and stuff where people are making skits that are really dark and creepy, and they'll make me sick to my stomach. But let's continue. So at this point, he decides to shut down his computer. He's feeling really unsettled, and he decides that the dark web is just not for him. He actually went on to say that he had found it boring and hard to find things to begin with, and then once he did finally find things, whether it was real or somebody, you know, piping something up that's supposed to be like a role play, he didn't like what he saw and he wanted absolutely nothing to do with it. He said he felt sick for a couple of days, but soon he forgot about it until a week later. Oh, this gives me the chills. John would come back from lunch at work one day to a box on his office desk. When John would open the box, his jaw would absolutely drop. He found an image in the box of one of the women, because he recognized the dress, sitting on that mantle with an X through her face, so you couldn't see her face. It was like scraped out, and no bow. But the bow was in the box. And on the back of the photo was a typed note taped to it that just said, "For you." And inside the box was a big pink bow. It says here that John reported it to the police, but there was no trace as who sent the gift, so to speak. He never received a gift again and has been told that it likely was some sort of skit meant to scare people, as there had been an increase of that online lately. But he can't shake wondering who the women were, actors or not, it still haunts him, and how did they find out where he worked? I have the heebie-jeebies. The X through the face, it gives me a really sick feeling, because let's say that this was real. This is a dark scenario on the dark web. It's almost as if he didn't want the woman to be identified. And why would he give him the bow and say, "For you"? I also think it's creepy that the X represents X, which is why he knew, I mean, along with the photo, that it was in fact this person. But to this day, he has no idea how this person tracked him at his job, as he had done this from his home. So even if they were like tracing him somehow, even though the dark web's meant to be anonymous, how did he find his work? And on top of that, what was the purpose of the entire thing, and why were so many people participating in it? I know there's so many dark web stories and just horror stories online in general, some of which are real, some of which are not. With that being said though, our world can be very, very dark. Our world has some evil in it, unfortunately, which I hate to admit, but there are some horrible people that will do horrible things, especially online. And stories like this are just a reminder that we have to be absolutely so careful. So with that said, I would absolutely love to thank UltraVPN for sponsoring today's video. As I mentioned, you guys can try UltraVPN for a ridiculously great price at $1.99 when you head to tryultravpn.com/Hailey Reese. Again, this story is just a testament to why we have to protect ourselves online, but beyond that, protecting your passwords, your data, your banking information, your identity. The amount of identity theft online is absolutely terrifying, and it's certainly a fear of mine in working online, which is why I find it so important to protect myself while working online. Thank you so much to UltraVPN for sponsoring, and thank you guys so much for joining me for today's video. Again, I would love to know all of your thoughts and opinions down in the comment section below. I love reading through all of your comments and hearing all of your different theories and personal experiences. So if you feel comfortable, I would love to hear from you in the comment section. While you are here, if you are not yet subscribed but you enjoy my content, I would absolutely adore it if you would go ahead and click that subscribe button and join our online family. And also please give this video a big thumbs up if you did enjoy it. I have not been uploading for quite some time due to all the personal things going on in my life, and so it would really help me and the algorithm if you would like it, if you like it. Obviously no pressure if you did not. Remember, my loves, do all things with kindness, and until next time, stay safe online, and I love you. Bye guys.